So you think you know comics? Even if you can cite every issue where Swamp Thing defeats Batman or where Superman performs surgery with his heat vision, there's still a good chance that some popular but incorrect DC Comics legends have slipped into your comic knowledge without you even knowing it. There are a ton of erroneous assumptions about our favorite DC heroes and villains that everyone seems to believe. Here are a few of the most misleading myths about the DC universe. Batman never kills. A major part of Batman's characterization is his one rule. He never kills anyone, mostly as an extreme reaction to the murder of his parents. It's formed the core of some of the best Batman stories ever written. However, comics show us that this rule is more of a loose guideline, really. In some of Batman's earliest adventures, he was known to let people burn alive and even punch folks into acid. It's easy to write those off as exceptions from before the Batman character was really set in stone. Go back far enough, and Batman had no problem using guns either. But Batman has actually killed, and attempted to kill in modern times too. In 1988's Batman number 420, Batman fights the unfortunately named KG Beast to a standstill. Realizing he can't beat or capture him, Batman locks him in the sewers in a room sealed by a reinforced steel door and just leaves the villain to rot. The story was so unusual that a few years later, another comic added to the event by saying that Batman called the cops instead of just leaving the bad guy to die. If that's not bad enough, Frank Miller's All-Star Batman and Robin featured a Batman who set a bunch of thugs on fire and then got it on with Black Canary right in front of their burning bodies. Keep it classy, Bruce. Joker and Harley are in love. Fans of comics' most destructive power couple like to refer to the classic Paul Dini Batman story Mad Love as evidence that Harley Quinn and the Joker are a perfect match. The marketing for Suicide Squad didn't help, emphasizing romantic shots of the two from the movie. So what's the problem? Joker simply doesn't love Harley. He's actually an abusive manipulator. Mad Love and most Harley Quinn comics regularly emphasize that Harley was in love with a man who alternated between ignoring her and abusing her. It turns out that while Joker may not love Harley, Warner Brothers certainly does. Or at least they love the chance to sell countless shirts to teenagers who don't know the whole story. And they call Joker crazy. Aquaman is useless. He can talk to fish, he can swim pretty well, and he can talk to fish. Is there anything else to Aquaman?
My ability to talk with fish is of no help, Wonder Woman.
Most people never really read comics about Aquaman unless he happens to be appearing alongside the Justice League. Compared to demigods who can punch you through time and space, the ability to tell fish what to do seems less than impressive. Except Aquaman can actually do a whole lot more. In fact, he's pretty much a legit badass. First off, fish telepathy is cooler than you might think since he can weaponize the creatures found across 3/4 of the planet. If it lives in the sea, Aquaman will have it chomping down on you, no problem. Sometimes he can even use his fishy telepathy on anyone who evolved from aquatic life, which is literally everybody. His skin is strong enough to resist knives and machine guns, he can swim at 175 miles per hour, and he can see in nearly total darkness. While it's true he gets weaker if he's out of water long enough, Aquaman can naturally do most of what Batman needs billions of dollars in gadgets to do. If that means Aquaman has to spend a little more time in the pool, it's a fair price to pay. Green Lanterns are vulnerable to yellow. It's a weird weakness, but Green Lantern used to get his tush kicked by anything yellow. Yes, anything yellow.
How about this? Does the yellow hurt your eyes, my friend? Getting weak. Oh, so very weak. That's the Green Lantern.
Casual comics fans may assume that the character still suffers from this weakness, but because of comics' strangest retcon, Lanterns are pretty much safe against all parts of the spectrum. Back during the death of Superman's story arc, the alien Mongol and cyborg Superman completely destroy Coast City, the hometown of Green Lantern Hal Jordan. Hal goes crazy, kills a bunch of other Green Lanterns, and becomes a supervillain named Parallax. What does this have to do with a weakness to yellow? Sit tight, we're getting to it. 10 years later, Parallax was revealed to be an intelligent cosmic force that embodied fear, once imprisoned inside the Lantern's big power battery. So having a yellow fear god inside the source of the Green Lantern's power is what once made them vulnerable to yellow. Once the Green Lantern Corps and their battery were rebuilt, they were only vulnerable to yellow when they let themselves feel fear. Veteran Green Lanterns can now shield themselves against yellow simply by thinking brave thoughts. Well, at least until you get to Green Lantern's appearance in All-Star Batman. But that doesn't really count. Mr. Freeze was always a tragic figure. There is possibly no sadder villain in comics than Mr. Freeze. His most high-profile appearance came in Batman the Animated Series, where most fans learned the story of the scientist, Victor Fries, who tries to preserve his dying wife in cryogenic stasis until she can be cured of her disease. Once Fries' experiment is shut down by his uncaring superiors, Fries is accidentally transformed into an icy villain who needs to stay in a special suit to keep his body cold. But none of that has anything to do with Fries' comic origins, where he was first known as Mr. Zero, a mad scientist with a freeze ray who didn't show up until issue number 121, where his icy condition is immediately cured by steam. He also appeared in the 1960s Batman TV series, where he was called Mr. Freeze for the first time, but he was still a generic villain that was played mostly for laughs. His name wasn't even Victor Fries, it was Dr. Scheibel. Critics and fans alike responded so well to the major changes that first appeared in his animated origin that it became his official story in the comics, video games, cartoons, and even in his introduction to the Gotham TV show. But nothing will be better than his big screen debut, right?
What killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age!
Okay, maybe not. Thanks for watching. Click the looper icon to subscribe to our YouTube channel, plus check out all this cool stuff we know you'll love too.